there has officially been some breaking news, aka some new leaks coming from Call of Duty Twitter. And this one is a pretty good topic, so let's get into it because I promise you this raises a lot of questions on the future of Call of Duty, Warzone, and multiplayer alike. I'm not gonna waste any time here, but this is what the rumor suggests. Call of Duty 2026 Infinity Ward's game, which is set to be a new Modern Warfare title, may not have omni-movement. Rumor claims current builds of the game do not include the omni-movement system. Still, long way to go, so could change per the Ghost of Hope. And for those that don't know who the Ghost of Hope is, he's a popular leaker that's been in the game for a long time now. Modern Warzone also tweeted about this, and he also said it was originally leaked that Modern Warfare 4 could have the same movement mechanics as Black Ops 7, but that no longer seems to be true. The official tweet that Ghost of Hope said was, Modern Warfare 4 2026 currently does not have omni-movement. Unclear if things will evolve on this front as we get closer to next year. Worth remembering that it was leaked a while ago that Modern Warfare 4 had the same movement mechanics as this year's game, which is Black Ops 7, but seems like it's no longer true. Black Ops 7 is set to be released in about October, November of 2025. The rumor for that game is that omni-movement will be returning with wall running. Not wall running like you remember it back in BO3, but something just a little bit different. Think of more like Apex and you can wall run just a little bit and then you fall off. Not necessarily jumping on top of the wall and being able to wall run the entire wall. It's more of a small little ledge climb. Before we get deeper into this, let's kind of discuss one thing. Every year, a new developer is in charge of Call of Duty. Every year, that developer is in charge of trying to figure out what they deem is the right move for making their game. As of right now, we have 3 separate developers that are mostly in charge of the game. We have Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch, with Raven Software being in charge of Warzone. Black Ops 7 will be Treyarch, and then Modern Warfare 4, which is what we're talking about today with the leaks, will be Infinity Ward. And for those that don't know, Infinity Ward is not on good terms with a lot of the Call of Duty community because they were solely responsible for Modern Warfare 2/Warzone 2. And the big topic here, and a lot of people are discussing this, is we've had omni-movement now for BO6, BO7, and now they're going to take that away after 2 years of people using it to hopefully have something different just because Infinity Ward thinks it's a good idea. Now, I'm not here to say it's a good or a bad idea, but I will say constantly changing these variables does seem a little bit weird. A lot of people on Twitter, including the casual community and content creators, had their opinions on this change. A-Scope said, garbage if true. Omni-movement is the best addition to COD in a long time. 100 Thieves Ebate said, feel like omni-movement at this point should be the way to move forward. It's got a lot of potential to be even better too. YouTuber T-Dog Smitty My Goat said, as long as it isn't like Modern Warfare 2, I don't care what happened. Nobody has high hopes for Infinity Ward's new game. And I mean that with the most respect as possible, but we can only judge based off what we receive and what we have in front of us. As you can see, Infinity Ward isn't really popular right now. I get what they were trying to do. On one hand, making the skill gap too crazy is going to stop the casual community from playing altogether and numbers drop, which means less revenue. On the other hand, if you cater to too much of the casuals and you make things slow, no one likes this, not even the casuals. Finding something in the middle ground is what people actually want, and that's been proven to us by the success of Verdansk. They toned down the movement to stop being extra cracked and reduce the time to kill to cater to the casuals. But at the same time, omni-movement is still there, it's just a toned down modified version of it, so you can still get cracked if you want. But Infinity Ward has shown us that they are pretty much set on what they want is what they're going to do. When Warzone 2 came out, we told the devs at Call of Duty Next how bad the game was and that they needed to make a lot of adjustments to it. They didn't take any of our feedback and put the game out like that, and what do you know, the game just didn't go good. Numbers dropped, player counts were at an all-time low, and genuinely, I assume from the numbers, was probably the worst it's ever been. And again, I don't mean to say, oh, we told you so, but it's more that they excluded a whole player base by doing that, right? So you want to try and make a game that anybody can play. Which I really do hope that Infinity Ward has learned their lessons and they can probably figure it out for 2026. So in response to this tweet, Modern Doug Zone said, damn, genuinely thought omni-movement would stick. Really gives players a lot of agency. Ghost of Hope then replied to this and said, it's very possible that it's just not in a current build at the moment, but very telling it's no longer got the same mechanics as 2025, which is currently what we're playing now. Maybe they're still figuring out what they want to do with the movement as they can totally find their own identity with it. Middle ground is so important. He then goes on to say, I am for this if it means we get something like Modern Warfare 3 again, which is snappy and fluid, but totally against this if it means we're back to Modern Warfare 2 bullshit, hoping it's the former and not the latter. So let's talk about movement and why he's saying this. Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 3, I'm gonna put on this side. Black Ops 6, I'm gonna put on this side. Warzone 2, let's not even talk about that. That'd be all the way over here. Black Ops 6 has omni-movement. It is fluid, but it lacks snappiness. You can pretty much do everything you want to do with Black Ops 6 movement, or what you could do with Black Ops 6 movement, but everything had a delay. You go into a crouch, there's a delay. You go into a prone, there's a delay. You aim down sight, there's a delay. You could slide cancel, you could dive, you could do pretty much anything you wanted to do. The stray speeds were insane, but it wasn't snappy, there was delays. Now let's look on this hand. You couldn't do omni movement in Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 3, so I guess you could say it wasn't as fluid, but it was incredibly snappy. The ADS speeds, the crouch speeds, the prone speeds, all the things that you wanted to do were very, very quick. The only things that those games didn't have was omni movement, which some people would say they don't even like. So Infinity Ward does have a really good opportunity here to find the perfect middle ground. And what exactly is the perfect middle ground? Is, hey, why don't they just do omni movement, but make everything snappy? I'm not saying make everything incredibly fast and cater this to all the sweats. I'm just saying if people want to do something, let them do it and don't put delays on the game. So Infinity Ward could very well make probably the best movement game ever. But based off what they've shown us in the last couple years, that's probably not happening. One Twitter user responded and said, seems like a step backwards. All it would need is some tuning and it would be perfectly fine. Which is pretty much what we discussed earlier about making omni movement just a little bit better. Most of Hope replied and said, I'd be open to keeping the sprinting any direction, but make sliding diving be only forward if they want to take it in that direction. Totally fine to tune it, people just don't get the definition of omni movement and what it entails. Omni movement is quite simply running in every single direction. Then there's other things like sliding in every direction, diving in every direction, which can all be adjusted. I kind of am not opposed to what he's trying to say here, is make everything incredibly snappy with no delays, but make it to where you can only slide forward and you can only dive forward. It would make it to where you're not hindering the entire community by adding all these crazy delays, but at the same time, you won't see people sliding sideways, left and right all over the map, and these casuals or the average gamer are mad because they're breaking their cameras. One user replied saying, nah, sideways slides / dives are clean. He then responded to that and said, it's totally fine for IW to want to have their own identity with the movement, though just nothing like Modern Warfare 2, obviously, which completely killed it. Hope they find a way to make the game snappy and fluid and not go down the Modern Warfare 2 Warzone 2 route and make everything have delays. Another user said, not sure how much this means anything. I know they were actively A/B testing omni movement / no omni movement for season 3 just week before Verdansk dropped. Ghost of Hope replied and said, I don't remember that being a part of the Warzone playtest leaks. I'm not denying it happened though. I just don't remember the A/B testing for the movement. I remember Repullze said the no loadouts thing though, and there was some other stuff. So just to clarify some confusion there, I was at the Verdansk playtest and there was no omni movement and yes omni movement type of playtest. It was more of an A/B playtest of certain features like loadouts or no loadouts and other things like movement nerfs and no movement nerfs. We won't even get into that because I promise you they made the right decision by going with what actually came out for Verdansk. One thing that I haven't really thought about, and I think Ghost of Hope hit it right on the nail, is this. Pretty crazy to think about how Infinity Ward are going to have to win over 3 very different and distinct communities going into their game next year. Warzone, multiplayer, and campaign all shit the bed under their watch, and people currently have no real reason to care about them returning yet. A lot of compromising on mechanics, ideas, and listening to the community would be a good start and go a long way. If anybody at that studio can't handle the harsh criticism after what they put out last time, then they shouldn't be a developer. From what we can see, they're pretty dead set on whatever they want is what is going out. To them, there's no real room for compromising. The game that they envision is what we're going to get. So I agree. I hope that when this game comes out in 2026, 2 years from now, that they have learned their lesson and they are open and willing to make changes according to the community. Again, don't get this twisted. I'm not saying the community, aka streamers, YouTubers. I'm talking about the majority of the community. I'm talking about everybody. There was a lot of criticism that they got, so if these leaks are true and Infinity Ward is trying to take off omni movement, I just really hope and I really pray that they're doing this the right way. I hope that they're not slowing it down into Modern Warfare 2 / Warzone 2 again, and they can find some form of compromise here and make a game that everybody enjoys. Because remember, Infinity Ward is responsible for Call of Duty 4, probably considered their breakout game. Infinity Ward was also in charge of Modern Warfare 2019, which aka Verdansk 2019, which was also their breakout game. So can they do it? Yes. But at least we know that they are capable, and it's solely going to depend on them and what they decide to do going forward. Now for the last leak is Call of Duty 2025's campaign might be open world similar to that of Modern Warfare 3 2023. Rumor claims campaign may not be developed by Raven and could potentially be worse than Modern Warfare 3 2023. This info is not confirmed. Y'all already know who Hunter TV is. He said this campaign about to be the worst shit we've ever played if it's open world and co-op. T-Dog Smitty said, ouch time. I'm not too sure how many people enjoy the campaign now, as we all pretty much know that the majority of the player base is multiplayer / Warzone only at the moment, but that doesn't mean they should exclude campaign altogether, and I hope they can actually release a good campaign that a lot of people want to play. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Will IW Infinity Ward succeed in their 2026 game, Modern Warfare 4, or are we in the trenches yet again?